Hey, this is Carl DeGregorio and Session18, and we're moving along, and that's starting to feel like a process that I'm getting a little more fluid with, and a little bit more. It's starting to help me coalesce my thoughts. It got me through, creatively got me through the idea that everything shut down, including my own wellspring of intention during the holidays. And now the eternal hope of the new year is now sort of, even in my bah humbug spirit, is starting to trickle in. And, I guess what happens is you hear things via the internet. You hear about self-talk, and you hear about your inner spirit, your monologues, the intentions, the things you write in your journal, all these sort of things. And a lot of it is you wind up making yourself miserable, because if you're feeling like shit, or if you're feeling a little petered out, rather than express it, you don't express anything. And rather than be honest with yourself, and be okay with how you're feeling, if it's not peppy, if you don't want to fucking bake cookies for the fucking holidays, last thing I'm going to do is fucking bake cookies. That's a big metaphor for me, because I don't bake cookies ever. So, but too many people acquiesce to the zeitgeist, or the spirit of the time of year, or are enforced to feel pressure to capitulate to the things that are going on that are incongruous to what's going on inside. So I thank the present day for the technology, for the platform, for the existence of something that can help you not feel like you're treading water. Or if it's treading water, at least it's productive treading. And I'm thankful for that. And I'm thinking about the one-man show as obviously it's going to be a piece of theater. And I'm also thinking about things that, as things become more digitized, as things become more done in cyberspace, as things become more quantifiable, everything is metrics. How do we take comfort, and how do we realign ourselves? Because I think it's really where I have to be at for my own peace of mind, is innate blessings, innate good thing, innate positive attributes to your personality, innate positive attributes to your craft, things that are intrinsic to you, to your very small circle, things that are, God forbid, not shared on a platform, things that are between you and your significant other, between you and your family, that don't go viral, that don't go out there, that aren't thumbs upped. It's where I think I need to place my adoration, and where I have to place myself, the grace I give myself. Because I had a friend explain to me this week, something occurred. I can't really get into the details, but I was able to be supportive. And when I explained to my friend what I had done and what had to be done, et cetera, he said, well, you're a success. And that was hard to handle, because it was kind, and it was a nice thing to hear. And I guess it was true. And because I don't know what we're after in this life, if to be able to help someone you care about is not a successful thing. And the fact that it doesn't come at a dire cost to me. It's not like I had to give up a kidney. It's not like I had to go without. I was just able to help. And it made me feel good, and it made me feel successful. And those are things I'll not share. I mean, I'm sharing them now, but I am being very opaque about it because I want to keep it to myself for many reasons, but also as a theme for this desk session, it's if I do a one-man show, if I'm lucky to do it for 1,000 people, if I'm lucky enough in a cumulative run of the show to see I don't know how many people, it will pale in comparison to what I could generate online if I did improve on my platform, or if I did book something on network television. The eyeballs would be so minuscule compared to what are possible. And yet, being able to stand on a stage and communicate what I have to say and what has to sort of happen for any art to be transmuted or translated or to be connected, or any feeling of accomplishment that is other than followers or other than accolades, and really kind of recalibrating what is important to me and life is it's got to be where it's at for me. And hopefully as things get more and more such and such, we could elaborate, but to really kind of dig deep into what is innate, what is intrinsic, what is human, human, and and I guess if we could debate about what art's purpose is, but if it's to distract, then I don't know that that's art. That's because I don't know. I mean, I'm not being snobby about the internet, but a lot of what's on the internet that is very entertaining, not a lot of it is art, but a lot of it is. But also, if the person, it should help me, is how I'm going to go about my craft, is it should help me order my life, order my better half, feed the right wolf. You've heard that parable about what wolf, the envious, evil wolf, or the kind, generous wolf, which one wins, and the parable ends with the one you feed. And so I want to feed the notion of counting my wins as my wins, and counting my blessings as my business, to be honest. And also, if it's so tricky because you don't want to gloat, but you also maybe want to say, that's the whole problem with the social media, is that update your status, checking in, marking yourself safe, now we're putting feelings out there. And it reminds me of those, there was these series of photos, and I think it was made by an actor in the silent film era, or even pre-silent film. Maybe it was just the stage actor, and it's like 12 faces that represent emotions, which I think is, hilarious. And I think those would be mad cool to have, as if, this is sad and this is happy, and, and mostly I just look psychotic, and so did he in these pictures, these famous pictures of an actor showing all the emotions, which is what the emojis have sort of mimicked and expanded on, and how we are, changing language and communicating, and in a way, if we get better at mimicking feelings, then what's the use? Could be one way to go as an actor, as a writer, as someone trying to put out the map of their experience, right? They say go specific, and specific will lead to like a universality, or if it's means something to you, it'll mean something to somebody else. Those axioms. I hope that'll always be true, and I'm battling with that. But the idea that doing a one-man show might not be the best online presence, but the beauty of the online presence is it'll be an interesting part of my story online to talk about how this, what you call, how this stage performance is going and how the process is going. And then, being able to say to you, this is what it felt like. I mean, there is byproduct of any documentary about a play, or any documentary about a movie, or any documentary about the making of an album is extra to the material. And so I'm kind of doing this I'm putting the cart before the horse, because the show hasn't been up yet. But the idea is, one cool thing about vlogs and YouTube and podcasting is that the minutia of processes has become interesting to a lot of people. And it's fun to talk about process now, and I find it interesting, and it's maybe the niche I'm heading into. But there are many comforts as well as many pains in this life, and I think art is to not just to distract, but to watching harsh things. That's why people love horror. Watching harsh things is sort of cathartic, because you're getting out these sort of archetypical fears, and you're confronting them through voyeurism. But if you're identifying with the character who survives, then you get to be brave for those moments in the theater. If you're identifying sort of with the rage that is eminent in the character represented by the evil, you're getting some of this stuff out of your system, and you're having these adrenaline highs and lows, and that's the purpose of even the harsh entertainment. And it is ultimately distracting you from your day to day. But you can take some solace in watching people struggle and overcome, in stories of persistence, and, Finding Nemo, keep swimming, just keep swimming, that kind of stuff. It's all distracting if you want to put that spin on it, but it is also recalibrating. And I guess in the new year, I have to start turning up the heat on making sense of how I'm going to pull this thing off, and also just to rededicate to how hard I got to work to make things, even in my auditions and in my acting and in my writing. Am I doing that? Am I putting it so clear that people are relieved or scared or primally engaged with what I'm trying to do? Otherwise, what's the point, right? Otherwise, we do have memes, and otherwise we do have dog videos, which I'm addicted to. Otherwise, we can, listen to those AI motivational reels and things like that. Like, otherwise, what's the point? So it's sort of a challenge to myself to say, am I getting the real heart of the matter? Which last week I talked about telling the truth, and that's what really connected with Bob Dylan for obviously his generation, and for this movie that's out now. The truth is, it stirs people, and it can also motivate people, and it can also frighten people to a counteraction. But it has to at least be in line with the creative artist, that if I want to blank, then I have to be honest about how to get the result of blank. Which, if I want to inspire, then the damn story better be inspiring. Or if I want to say it'll get better, it has to be proof that it is for that person telling the story. Or if it could be worse, to count your blessings, whatever it might be. It's just I need to track the form and the function of what I'm after. Even with my acting, is am I communicating with all of my skills and all of that stuff that, like I said, won't show up on how many followers, how many views I get. If I were concerned with that, I would have quit a long time ago. And so that story of persistence, I think, is more in line with where I'm headed. And it's a new year, so while there is equal measure of sorrows, there is always something to cling to make yourself persevere and put your next step forward. And so as I fade into a reverie when I'm supposed to be talking, I'll call it a day on this Desk Session 18. Thank you for the attention and eyeballs if you are out there. And know that I intend to tighten up and be clear about my intentions. You know, this is a brutal sports analogy, which I may lose some of you on, but it's playoff time in my life, and the field shrinks during playoff time. The competition is better during playoff time. This win or go home notion, which is where the sports analogy falls apart with the arts, but at this point in time, it's playoff time, and so I'm going to, try to, play at the top of my game, and I'll encourage you to do so. So peace from Carl D. Thanks.